Which is the largest species of antelope? Giant eland. Which part of the human body contains the patella? Knee. Which is the highest active volcano in Europe? Mount Etna. Which Indian city is known as the City of Seven Islands? Mumbai. Which metal is used to coat food cans to prevent rusting? Tin. Which is the largest freshwater lake in North America? Lake Superior. Which is the largest archipelago in the world? Indonesia. Which acid is found in lemons and oranges? Citric acid. Which instrument is used to measure the speed of wind? Anemometer. Who was the first Indian to receive the Nobel Prize? Rabindranath Tagore. Which is the largest white blood cell in the human body? Monocyte. Which Indian city is famous for the Meenakshi Amman Temple? Madurai. Which atmospheric layer is the coldest? Mesosphere. Which Indian state is the largest producer of black pepper? Kerala. Which is the largest artery in the human body? Aorta. Which is the SI unit of radioactivity? Becquerel. Which Indian state is the largest producer of coffee? Karnataka. Which gas is mainly used to extinguish electrical fires? Carbon dioxide. Which vitamin is required for normal blood clotting? Vitamin K. Which planet is known as the evening star? Venus. Which is the largest endocrine gland in the human body? Thyroid gland. Which Indian city is famous for the Hawa Mahal? Jaipur. Which Indian state is the largest producer of turmeric? Telangana. Which is the largest chamber of the human heart? Left ventricle. Which atmospheric layer is known as the weather layer? Troposphere. Who was the first Indian woman to win a world championship in boxing? Mary Kom. Which is the largest delta in the world? Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta. Which acid is present in gastric juice? Hydrochloric acid. Which is the largest island in Asia? Borneo. Which instrument is used to measure wind direction? Wind vane. Which metal is the main component of steel? Iron. Which is the highest mountain in South India? Anamudi. Which is the largest living reptile? Saltwater crocodile. Which part of the human body contains taste buds? Tongue. Which Indian city is known as the City of Pearls? Hyderabad. Which planet has the shortest revolution period around the Sun? Mercury. Which Indian state is the largest producer of cardamom? Kerala. Which gas is commonly called dry ice in its solid form? Carbon dioxide. Which vitamin is essential for the formation of red blood cells? Vitamin B12. Which is the SI unit of magnetic flux density? Tesla. Who invented the telephone? Alexander Graham Bell. Which is the largest ocean on Earth? Pacific Ocean. What is the national bird of India? Peacock. Which is the smallest country in the world? Vatican City. Which gas do plants absorb from the atmosphere? Carbon dioxide. Which country is known as the land of the rising sun? Japan. What is the capital of Australia? Canberra. Which is the longest river in the world? Nile. How many continents are there in the world? 7. Which is the largest planet in our solar system? Jupiter.